Hello, and thanks for joining me. I'm Karen Fernandez, and this is my podcast, Living with Integrity, Creating an Abundant Life. Today we are going to talk about procrastination. What is it, and why does it keep showing up? The definition of procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something that needs to be done. Procrastination is not considered to be a mental health condition in and of itself, but it has been linked to depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and is even strongly associated with ADHD. When we procrastinate, it causes greater stress and anxiety to build up inside of us. Why do people procrastinate? Is it laziness or lack of discipline? Maybe for a small few, but many times when we procrastinate, it's because we feel overwhelmed emotionally, and putting off what needs to be done is a way of not having to deal with those emotions. Lower frequency emotions based on fear, lack, or worry can be draining. Many times our emotions aren't based on reality, but are only based on our imagined fears that are coming in. Developing a healthy mindset and letting go of that tendency to be negative or thinking worst-case scenario is the first step. Our thoughts we hold navigate the way we move through each day of our lives. And these thoughts set the tone for how we live. If we tend to be pessimistic and worry often, these are the type of experiences we will start to see in our life because this is what we are looking for. We will attract what we think of the most. People who are optimistic and have a positive mindset tend to have more energy, experience more happiness in their lives, and feel enthusiasm about their lives. Their creativity is heightened. They don't tend to procrastinate on anything because their mindset is elevated. In elevated states of mind, we are able to do more and often with ease. We aren't complaining, whining, and talking about others. This mindset is one we have to develop and work on because it doesn't come naturally in our human estate. A mindset is an established or a habitual mental attitude that determines how we will interpret and respond to a situation. A mindset shift takes time and effort, but once we shift it, our whole world and life can and will open up in magical ways. Mindsets are created from the distinctions we are able to make about our experiences. Childhood experiences set the first tone for our mindset. Our environment, how we were raised. If our needs weren't met growing up, or if we lived in any type of dysfunction, that will directly affect our ability to feel safe, whole, and complete, and will greatly affect the way we view people, things, and the world. This is what created our mindset, our ability to grasp our place in this world, and how the world was being presented to us in our early childhood. I think it's safe to say that no one is exempt from pain, trials, or suffering in this life. Establishing a daily routine will help us to quiet down that critical, judgmental, negative voice inside our mind. If we take the time to work on self, it would melt away a lot of stumbling blocks in our lives. It's important to understand our mindset came to us from a learned environment. All societies have an underlying, deep down embedded fear of lack and poverty. This mindset has been passed down generationally since the beginning of civilization. It is no one's fault. When we let go of blame, shame, and victimhood, it puts us in a place of power and self-authority. We can discover a new way. We can learn to step back, see our situation from a new perspective. We can start to dwell in gratitude instead of complaints. Having compassion for ourselves and others will help. We are waking up to a new way of being. As humans, we didn't always know the right way to do things. We had to learn a lot. If you read any history book throughout the centuries, we learned from the past mistakes and the atrocities that people who went before us did. We can also see great advancements and achievements. As humans, we are always evolving and expanding. It amazes me to see how advanced technology has gotten in the last 15 years. But what about our personal, interior advancement, which would lead us to a higher quality of life, put us in a place to create abundance? It is our birthright, after all. We live in a world that confuses us and tricks us into believing that there isn't enough to go around, that someone has to lose in order for someone to win. But I know we can all be a winner in this game of life. It takes effort, but the harvest from this work will produce 30, 60, and even 100-fold in our life and the lives of those around us. It will have a ripple effect. When we feel or notice we are procrastinating and putting something off, that's when we want to step back and say yes to self. What need is calling to us? Do we need to feel nurtured or safe? Do we need to satisfy our appetite? What is calling to be fed? Are we connecting enough to God throughout the day? When I feel a writer's block or not wanting to do a task because it's long and feels arduous, I take a moment to do some Kundalini yoga, breathing exercises, and body movements. It helps me to release this stagnant, restless energy. I also take a moment and invite God along with me to help me take on my task. Sometimes I go for a walk just to clear my head and get some fresh air. I also make sure that I chunk it down. We tend to look at everything we need to do all at once. We can't do everything at once. But that critical voice inside our head will nag us and make us feel guilty that we aren't doing enough or we should be doing more. Make a short list of things that need to be done and chunk it down. We can then start to reframe our thoughts. We don't have to look at our tasks or work as things we have to do, but things we get to do. I don't know about you, but I love the feeling I get when I finish a project. I feel satisfied, productive, and useful. I feel my purpose being fulfilled. Even in the most mundane tasks, we can invite God along, and we will start to feel that guiding force with us. In all we do, we can make it an active, living prayer. We are co-creating our daily life with God, the creator of the universe. Living in Colorado, I have been blessed with magnificent, beautiful, sweeping views of Pikes Peak, an entire mountain range I can see from all the windows in my home. They are huge, green, and lush because of all the rain we had this spring. There is an abundance all around me. There is an abundance all around us, if we are open to it. No one can open this door for us to step into creating abundance. We have to be the ones willing to step into it by our words, actions, and mindset. Gossiping and judging are ugly words to even say. Our society has us judging each other. Our societies have developed since the beginning of our civilization a class system. This class system is a universal phenomenon that denotes people or groups having a definite status in society, which permanently determines their relations to other people or groups. Basic social classes are upper class, middle class, working class, lower class, and poverty. When we live in this class system, we have to be careful and not be confused to think that some people are worthy of more than others. We all have equal inherent dignity. The more we understand this and let go of judging others and ourselves, the more we are able to be in a higher frequency. This will help us to create a better life for ourselves and those around us. Now that we've realized that we have the ability and the privilege to align ourselves with our soul's deeper purpose, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew 6:33. When we step into our soul's purpose, there is a satisfaction that happens in our mind, heart, and soul, better than any satisfaction that comes from material possessions. It brings with it wisdom, understanding, clarity, knowledge, and peace. Useless worry goes away because as we deepen our journey with our Creator and ourselves, we become centered and anchored in our Creator, and we will feel connected more intimately with God. It may seem awkward at first if you haven't talked to God often or at all, but by developing this connection to the God of our understanding, we are plugging directly into our source energy. We have a divine nature, but we live in a human estate. We long for this connection. Most people don't even realize it. We can't see God, but we believe and know God is present. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and sovereign. Shifting our mindset to elevate to a God frequency can only be accomplished when we take an axe to the root of our lower vibrational tendencies. We can see God at work in our lives once we take off our blinders or remove the scales from our eyes, like what happened to St. Paul. Although we aren't likely going to experience something as extreme as St. Paul did on the road to Damascus, but we can experience and see God in our lives and all around us. Having a routine is so much more than just doing a few personal development exercises. It renews our effort and strengthens our spirit within us. It drives out laziness, stagnant energy, fear, and worry. It balances us and gives us fresh vigor and energy. It refreshes and nurtures our mind and soul. It makes vices, bad habits, and procrastination much easier to overcome and do away with. Our strength, stamina, creativity, and enthusiasm will increase, while boredom, laziness, procrastination, stress, and depression decrease. Making time for ourselves each day, a couple of times a day, even if it's only for a few minutes, can really shift and change the way we are experiencing our lives. The choice will always be ours, and ours alone. We get to choose a higher quality of life. We create the life we are living. If we are willing to get off the sidelines of life and back into the game of life, there is no competition. The race is only against ourselves. We are stepping into a new reality. collapsing old paradigms. We are partaking in co-creation and letting go of competition. I love seeing people win in life. I want everyone to have the life they deserve. We were made by love for love. Abundance is not something for only the lucky. If we can imagine it, we can have it. But it starts with having a practice to help us rewire our brain chemistry. What links in the brain sinks in the brain. We forgot our birthright, but our soul didn't. Contrast in life is what ultimately brings us to this place of needing and longing for more. We learn from those moments, and they had their purpose. But now that we have experienced this contrast and had to deal with painful events in our lives, we can build upon this lesson. We don't let them break our hearts. We let them expand our hearts. I am living proof that anything is possible. I went after my dreams, and even though it hasn't always been easy, it's been one of the best things I ever did for myself. I know it's not easy to change our mindset, to stop and break old habits and thoughts. Our mind can be a battlefield. Having a coach or accountability partner is a game changer. I know for me personally, I don't think I would have moved out west by myself to start completely over if I didn't experience my own transformation through my coaching course. It changed everything for me. It was the catalyst that got me out of my comfort zone and into the unknown, where I am most definitely creating the life that I love. If you are interested in having your own transformation, contact me at coachingwithkaren.com. I will personally take you through my 12-week program, Total Transformation, Mind, Body, and Spirit, that is guaranteed to give you positive results in your own life. Sessions are virtual or can be done in person where available. The link to my website is located in the episode description. Tune in next week when we will talk about creativity, drive, and desire. How to recapture that part of us that is inside of all of us and is part of our divine birthright. Thank you for listening.